So growing up as a kid, I was very healthy and active. I was involved in sports and church and academics and just everything. And at 16, I found out that I had to have an emergency surgery done, and it turned into kind of a nightmare. I had a really bad reaction to the anesthesia, and they thought that I had an infection, so they just gave me 3.5 weeks of IV antibiotics. And when I finally left the hospital, I was never really healthy again. I barely finished school. By the time I got to college, my health really started to decline, and I really didn't make it past my second year. I had to drop out. But the one thing that was the bright spot in college was that I met my husband, John, and he had grown up his whole life as having juvenile diabetes, so he was not scared away by the fact that the girl he was dating had some health issues, because he knew what that was like. And it was really nice to have him in my life as somebody I could lean on. And we were married several years later, and after we were married, my health really started to just decline rapidly. And by the time I was about 28 years old, I was considered permanently disabled. I had 3 autoimmune diseases. I pretty much lived in a wheelchair all the time. I was on countless medications, and my life, both of our lives really, just revolved around my illness.
To literally help my wife through this time, there was no helping her. And so you talking about not only being a caretaker, not knowing, at the age of 26, that this is going to be the rest of your life for the next 50 years.
I just got to the point where I was so miserable all the time that I started to believe that I really had no value. I thought that I would be better off dead. In 2008, I decided to take my own life. And I would say that that was definitely the lowest point for me. And I remember sitting in the mental hospital, and I was looking out over the city, and it just hit me like God was just saying, Deanna, you were not successful at your suicide attempt because I have you here for a reason. And I decided that day that I was going to live a life of purpose. I was going to figure out what I was doing here, and I knew it wasn't to wallow in self-pity and be miserable every day. I was going to look for a different path to wellness. I wanted to be the healthiest that I could be, and so I really did a lot of research, and I started to change things like my diet. I changed the way that we cleaned our home. I changed the products that we used on our bodies, but I kind of resigned myself that I was just going to be the sick girl my whole life, and that maybe it was my mission to just reach out to other people that were in that same situation. I had made some progress, I would say, with my health by changing to a more natural route with my diet and other things, and then about 1.5 years into that process or so, we moved into a home and we didn't know that it had mold. And my health took a huge, quick decline. And my organs were shutting down. I just was gaining all kinds of weight and just not doing well at all. And we kind of got the news that I probably had about 60 days left. And at that point, my husband and I just decided to sell our business and buy an RV and do this just cross-country trip. And we never really kind of said it out loud to each other, but I think we both sort of knew that this was like our last big thing that we were going to do together. We were just going to do it big and just enjoy those 60 days. So a friend of mine reached out to me on social media, and she said that she had something natural that she wanted me to try that she thought could help my digestive discomfort I was having. And because it was natural and because I knew that she cared about me as a person, I agreed to try it. And when it came in the mail, I did what she told me to do, and I just applied it. And I was really surprised because it had been 4.5 months since I'd eaten solid food, and 3 days later I was back on solid food again. I knew that there was something to this, and I called her and said, okay, I think this is something that I need to have in my life. What do I do? She said, well, you just need to get some of these basic things in your home, learn how they work, and just make them part of your everyday wellness. And so I did. As I was on this road trip, this amazing thing started to happen. I would be posting pictures of myself on social media, and people started to say, wow, Deanna, you look different. What's going on? And just there's a different light in your eyes. And we got to California. We're in this national park called Muir Woods National Forest. And my wheelchair broke. And I thought, wow, well, there goes the rest of the trip, because I could only probably stand for maybe 10 minutes at the most, and I could walk maybe 1,000 feet on my own. And so when my wheelchair broke, I just thought, what am I going to do? But we started to gradually notice that I could walk a little farther and I could stand a little bit longer. And over the course of the next few months, I ended up losing about 110 pounds. I was off of almost all of my medications. I no longer needed my wheelchair. And shortly after that, we found out that we were expecting. And we had been told that we would never have children. We had had many miscarriages, never been able to carry a pregnancy to term, and we had actually not been able to conceive for many years. 15 years of infertility. So it was a pretty miraculous discovery to find that we were expecting our son.
We started really running hard, helping people understand that the benefit of what we had. And I mean, it's, you know, and then the whole money side and the bills.
Yeah, I mean, I really just started out thinking that we could help people with their physical health and my physical health. That was what it was all about. And then when I realized that you had been very quietly paying off all of our medical debt that we were supposed to be hiding from all these people until they couldn't ask us for the money anymore. That was the plan, because we just had no way of paying it off. And we realized that we were experiencing financial healing too. It wasn't just physical.
Yeah.
And I think that was a huge realization for me, because I wanted to, at that point, I didn't just want to help people with their physical wellness. I wanted to help them with their financial wellness.
Yeah.
And when we started to see other families experiencing that financial freedom that we had, as well as the physical healing, there's just something about being able to tell somebody that there's hope in every area of your life. You can live an abundant life,
Right.
like we're supposed to be living, and there's an answer, there's hope, and I can't think of any better way to spend my days. That, honestly, that's the coolest thing, is that we got to take that RV trip all over again, and this time I could walk everywhere, and we had our son with us.
Well, you walked more than everywhere.
Well, when you haven't walked for 20 years or whatever, you want to walk as much as you can, and you want to soak up as much life as you can and experience as many things as you can, because you're just not living in fear and sickness anymore. I just want to tell people that, you know, if you're looking for somebody to come along and change your life for you, or wave a magic wand and change your life circumstances, no one can do that for you. I can't do that for you. What I can do is I can help people by providing them with an amazing vehicle that they can use if they've already done the work, if they're ready to be that new person and to write that new story. I did the work, and then the right opportunity came along because I was ready in my heart and in my mind. And so I just want to tell people that they have that same opportunity. God doesn't love me more than you. I'm not more talented than you. I'm just a regular, ordinary person who had an extraordinary opportunity. And I would love to partner with people who are looking for that right vehicle to come along so that they can change their life. So if I could just tell you one thing, it would just be this. You have one life to live. You have one story. Go write your story. You have one light to shine. Go shine it big throughout the world. Live that abundant life. Do what you are called to do, and watch the amazing life that you can create. I was sick. I was disabled. I was financially broken, bankrupt, suicidal, sexual abuse victim. I was sad, hurting, unhappy. I'm an overcomer, a world changer, a healer, a CEO, a mentor, a creator, a total badass, a leader, a momtrepreneur, a coach, a high achiever, a big dreamer, and a person of influence.